and gross substitute House Bill 1453 on third reading and final passage. Remarks. The good lady from the 43rd, Representative Macri.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are facing a true eviction crisis in our state. This is related to the housing crisis, which we have heard talked about on the floor of this chamber several times during the course of this day. As I mentioned earlier, I can think of no other instance where somebody can lose their home so quickly. It's important to note that 9 out of 10 evictions in our state are related to non-payment of rent. And in a recent study in Washington state, we found that when folks have been evicted, close to 10% of them only have been able to find another home, meaning that eviction is directly related to the crisis of homelessness that we're experiencing in our state. The consequences are immense: displacement, kids taken out of their schools, parents losing their jobs, entire communities being disrupted. We know that to address the housing crisis, we need to do many things, and we've talked about them today, but we can't ignore the fact that people need security in their homes, and that is what this bill does. The bill focuses on 3 main areas. First, as you've heard, it extends the period in which people can pay rent when they have fallen behind from the current 3 days to 14 days. It allows the court to have some limited judicial discretion to take in the full circumstance when contemplating a judgment where somebody can lose their housing. And finally, it makes important updates and revisions to the notices and summons forms, because we see a high rate of defaults in eviction, meaning people don't even show up to court. Because, Madam Speaker, many people don't understand the process, or in some cases, people don't even understand the language in which the form is given to them. So these important improvements will bring stability to families in Washington state. They will help to address our homelessness crisis, and they will ensure that we can have strong communities. So I urge your support of this bill and ask you to vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional remarks. The good gentleman from the 2nd District, Representative Barkis.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I'm going to start by thanking the good lady from the 43rd. She is correct in the work that has been done, the conversations that have been had. But I will say that this bill helps, but it is not the solution. Sometimes we've been hearing so much about eviction causes homelessness. It used to be we talked about eviction as part of one of the reasons for homelessness, but in recent months, it's become a direct line. Eviction equals homelessness. And a lot of times we forget to ask the question, or the second question that is, what was the cause of that eviction? Is it non-payment of rent? Why was it the non-payment of rent? Could it be an addiction? Could it be other issues? Could it be just carelessness or irresponsibility? You see, I have a lot of experience in this arena, as most know in this body. I've been doing this for 25 plus years. And so this interim, we started out with a process. We went for the problem statement. We asked the housing lines. We asked those who are in the tenant side of the house to say, what is this? What do we want to work on? Eviction reform. What's at the crux of it? To pay or vacate. What do we need? More time. So that's what we did. The stakeholders got together. We put forth, for the first time, progressive, got it out there, proactive solutions, bills to get at this issue. This bill, unfortunately, took it to the next level. It goes too far. It adds too much time. It goes out of balance. As you've heard from my colleagues tonight, it's out of balance. It focuses too much for the tenant and not enough for the landlord. The landlord is the small business. The landlord is the moms and pops. The landlord is all those who we've talked about who provide this integral supply of housing that we so need in this state. So why is it that we're going to make it more difficult? The good lady from the 27th enlightened me on one of my amendments and talked about the costs of some of these judgments. But let me give you another little story. By the time most people come to me for service for help, they've been dealing with a tenant that's been in default for months. And I have helped, I can't tell you how many tens, hundreds and hundreds of people that have come to me in some form of situation, been dealing with a tenant who has not paid their rent. And again, there's always a secondary issue. And by the time they get to me, they've been working with this person that's in their house, trying to help them, making arrangements, letting them go. And months and months and months go on. And so by the time they come to us and we start this process, it takes time. This bill adds even more time. By the time we get through the 14 days and all the other pieces and the judicial discretion, the 5 days, we're talking about almost 2 months, 50 days plus. So on top of the time that they've been, so I give an example, 4 months, person was working with somebody, but they had loss of rent of $4,500, appliances that were damaged, $3,000, carpet that was damaged, $7,000. You know, it was almost $16,000 worth of damage to their house. And this young couple, they didn't have the money to take care of this. They were in a situation where they were going to have to borrow money. They were in a situation where their house was damaged. So again, I just ask for consideration for fairness. This is a good product. I know it's going to get worked on more. I know we're going to get there's some good things in this bill. The notification, the languages, the access to help, all the different things that came out of this collaborative work. But there's just a few things, the time. That's why we asked for the amendments. 14 days is too much. The judicial discretion goes too far. We needed this to be something that would work for both tenants, both landlords. Let's keep the supply of housing. Let's help the landlords. Let's help the tenants who truly need the help. But let's not forget to ask that other question. Why? What's causing them to get to this point? So with that, I ask for this body to vote no on this bill tonight. And let's work on something that's a little more reasonable for both.
Thank you. Additional remarks. The good gentleman from the 15th, Representative Defoe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I know it's late and we've all got important things